Hello everybody and welcome back to the United Stand. It is Manchester United versus Fulham at Old Trafford. An extremely pivotal game in Manchester United's season. We've done it against City, we've done it against Arsenal, two of the best teams in the league. Some would argue two of the best teams in the world right now. But can we do it at home to Fulham, who if Fulham win today against United, which we hope doesn't happen, but if they do, they only go within 1 point of United. Chelsea did the business. That Garnacho sub still hurts. Chelsea did the business over West Ham. Gutted about that one. Liverpool smashed up Quarabag in the Champions League and then smashed up Newcastle at Anfield. They did the business. Man United have to do the business today to stay in that top four race, and it'll just give so much momentum to Carrick and his team. But welcome everybody to the show. We are so excited for Carrick Ball, excited to be back at Old Trafford. I mean, Mordz, first of all, how are you feeling? Confident, nervous?
It's a bit of both. It's a bit of both. I think a lot of people are saying that this is the game where they can really tell how Carrick's doing. I mean, let's be honest. You play City, you play Arsenal. There's going to be a lot of momentum. There's a lot of adrenaline. And you have that new manager bounce. I mean, let's be honest, Carrick he's doing very well. You know, the last two games, I don't think anyone would have expected United to perform to the level that we performed at. So I think today is kind of like that test where it's like, okay, cool, you can do it when the lights are shining. Let's see when it's a cold. I say it's cold, isn't it? Well, it is cold to be fair. Night at Old Trafford against Fulham. These are kind of like our bogey teams where they do get points here and there. They do grab these little dodgy draws. Let's see if we can get a confident win today as well. And I think you can. You're
speaking about the weather. Wait till you see me speaking to fans outside Old Trafford. Don't say I don't work hard for you all.
No, she does.
Don't say I don't.
Yeah. I'll give it
yeah. Stay tuned for that. But look, everyone, smash in your super chat, smash the like, share the video out. I mean, I've not been this excited for a game at Old Trafford in a very long time.
Same.
You know.
No, I haven't.
And it's just like getting that. It must feel good for Carrick, getting that excitement back into the fans. I know we don't want to get carried away. And by the way, I think Carrick has actually got the temperature just right in his pressers, in his interviews. Doesn't seem phased, not getting carried away. Some might say, "Oh, it's boring. Oh, there's not many like sound bites you can really take from it." I take a lot from it.
I don't want any sound bites.
I take a guy who is calm, confident within his job and knows what he's doing. And as long as you're performing on the pitch, brilliant. Like, he's putting confidence into the players. He's talking them up all the time. But you've got to continue it and you've got to show it on days like today. Like, we've beaten teams when we've been the underdog, because we're the underdog against City, we're the underdog against Arsenal. United are expected to go and take the game to Fulham today, and they're expected to go and win. Can you do it when you're expected to win? Yeah,
I mean, that's exactly what the point is. And even in terms of like being able to hold the ball for the majority of the game, let's be honest, in the Arsenal game, in the City game, they had a lot of the possession, but they weren't really doing a lot with it. And we were playing on a counter-attack, and a lot of people say, you can't win loads of games with playing on a counter-attack. You have to be able to play games while holding possession, while dominating the game. Today, we are going to have more possession. We are going to see what it's like when another team is sitting off us. And I mean, like you said, that is the test for Carrick today. Can he really do it when we are supposed to be the better team, you know? And I think you mentioned it earlier on in the show about Fulham. They're not too far away from us. You know, Fulham are not doing terribly. I know people look at them as a smaller club, but Fulham are doing pretty good for their standards anyway. So they're going to be coming to this game thinking, if we can catch United, then we can catch Liverpool, we can catch Chelsea. So they're going to come to this game with all guns blazing, wanting to win as well.
Well, we've got Elizabeth coming on the show later on after team news. I'm excited to speak to her from the Fulhamish podcast. And I think Fulham fans will be thinking about Europe. I think they will, considering where they are on the table. They are in the mix. They are in the mix right now. So they'll be thinking about some sort of European football.
Definitely,
you know, we've got to stay humble in this. I think Harry Wilson's one of the best players outside the top six. I think he's quality. He's someone that we've got to keep an eye on. And if you look at Fulham's last 5 games, so it was a 2-1 win against Brighton in the last game in the Premier League. They lost against Leeds 1-0. Before that, it was a 3-0 win against Borough in the FA Cup. Before that, 2-1 win against Chelsea in the Premier League. And then before that, a 2-2 draw against Liverpool. Yes, Liverpool weren't in the best form at that time, but still, it's not a bad last 5 games for where they're at. I mean, if you look at United's last 5 games, you've got 3-2 win against Arsenal, which, by the way, Arsenal's win yesterday against Leeds made me even happier. The fact, you know, that Arsenal team, whether we like it or loathe it, the way that they play, the way they get the goals, the dodgy corners, the set pieces, like they are doing very well in the Premier League. And we went to their own backyard and beat them 3-2. So, like, that makes me even more confident in what Carrick's doing in that one. So ours is 3-2 versus Arsenal, 2-0 versus City, 2-1 loss to Brighton in the FA Cup, 2-2 draw to Burnley, and then a 1-1 draw to Leeds. So you can see instantly the results turning as soon as Carrick's come in. But it is only 2 games, and it's them Burnleys, them Leeds, them Brightons that have tripped us up before, that we need to ensure that we can go and get results against these sort of sides. So it's going to be it's a big game today. It's an edgy game as well. And what makes it even edgier for me now is that Chelsea result and that Liverpool result.
Yeah, 100%. And even in terms of like the fan base, I spoke to like a few of my United fan friends, and the energy around the club is just a lot more positive compared to what it was, let's say, a month ago, even like 3 weeks ago. The energy at the club was very divided. It's a bit, let's be honest, it's a bit toxic, and some of the fans were on this side, some of the fans were on that side, and I feel like now, finally, the fan base is kind of more in unison. Everyone's a bit more in harmony. We're all supporting Carrick. We're all wanting to do well. We're all supporting the players because, you know, the transfer window's done. We're not getting anyone pretty much. So we might get one, but realistically, we're not getting anyone in the transfer window. So I think everyone's kind of just accepted where we are, and we're all trying to push forward to go and get these wins and go and see how far we can get in this table. So I think just in terms of the fan base in general, right now we're at the best point that we've been in a very, very long time. I don't think we've been this together almost since, I don't even know, the FA Cup maybe, since then. Literally.
I mean, if you just look at where it leaves us in the table as well, that Chelsea result and the Arsenal result, we are now in 38 points. We sit 6th behind Liverpool on 39 points and Chelsea on 40 points. So 39 points for Liverpool, 40 points for Chelsea. Of course, a win today takes us up to 41 points. So we go above
both of
them two in the race for top 4. It's tight.
It is tight.
And them... It's funny because Chelsea have picked up some results, but I don't think they look very good.
No, they struggled.
Yeah,
yeah.
I thought that game against Palace, they didn't look great when they won last week.
Yeah.
Napoli, I thought was a good performance, to be fair to them. And then against West Ham, I thought, again, it was a real big struggle that first half. West Ham should have put a few more away. Fair enough to Liam Rosenior. His changes did change the game. Garnacho, why couldn't you stay on the pitch? Wan-Bissaka was cooking him.
At least he's not part United.
Well, yeah, Wan-Bissaka, he was having a field day down that side.
Yep.
But when they scored that final minute goal, I was like, But we've just, you know what? It's like we can't expect West Ham to bail us out. We've got to go and do the business ourselves, and that's what we've got to do today. So with Chelsea, I mean, it could go any way, but I do feel like Liverpool are going to start picking up some form. Ekitike and Wirtz are starting to gel really well together, unfortunately for us.
Even Salah got an assist.
Yeah. I mean, did you watch the game?
Yeah.
Salah doesn't look like the Salah of old.
No.
He did all right. It's Ekitike for me. And Wirtz is looking a bit better as well.
Wirtz is not looking like he's supposed to look, but he's looking better than he was at the start of the season.
Yeah.
Definitely. But Ekitike, he's making Isak just sit down for the rest of the season. Like, you can't replace him right now. It's impossible.
Don't get me wrong, I'm backing Sesko, and I'd love nothing more for Sesko to score off the bench today, or if he starts, score from the off, and I want him to go and be amazing for United, but I just look at Ekitike and I'm like,
I wish.
Why? He's got everything.
Yeah.
He's got aerial presence, he's strong, he's quick, he's got excellent feet, he reads the game super well, he's techie with it, he can put a good through ball through, he reads through the lines, he drifts well, he's got everything.
He's not a United player, so I don't care.
I know. Anyway, Sesko, come on.
Yeah, we've got Sesko, we've got Mbeumo. Let's talk about Mbeumo.
Oh, Mbeumo. Yeah. Do you reckon he can score again today?
100%. He's our top goal scorer.
Lethal finisher.
Lethal finisher, top goal scorer. He's scored against a lot of big teams. He's been our talisman this season. He's been the guy that we've actually looked at to get goals in even difficult situations. I mentioned already that some of the games that he scored against, some of the teams he scored against, City, Arsenal, Liverpool. So he's been there for us. He scored our first goal of the season, I think, very, very early on. So, and he's went out to AFCON and he's still our top goal scorer. So I think, look, Mbeumo has, I'm not going to say he's necessarily lived up to what he was last season. Last season he got 20 goals. I think that's probably his best season he's ever had. But if he was to get anywhere near 15 plus goals, I think that's a very, very good season for United. Very good season. And look, I mean, I had a few conversations at the start of the season, and one of my family friends was saying, I think Mbeumo should play down the middle because he's such a good finisher. Yeah. And then like my brother was arguing back saying, yeah, but off the right, his crossing's fantastic. And that I think him drifting to the right is his best position. But I think he's just such a quality player. He can play anywhere in the front three. He did well off the left earlier on in the season. I like him in all positions because if United have an opportunity where they have to score,
and you need to be composed, calm, and finish it. I want Mbeumo there every day of the week.
No, I agree. And especially, you look at the goal against Arsenal, that goal kind of came from us actually going to them, pressing them, getting the ball back. But also, he had to do a little bit of work just to get that goal. It wasn't just a tap in, and he had to actually take it around the keeper, and then he finished it on his right foot. He's not even right-footed, but he finished it with his right foot. So it just goes to show the quality that he has. And even the City goal, the counter-attack, him obviously making that run, first of all, the pace that he had to even get in front of Bruno, make the run in behind the defence. Bruno, obviously, amazing pass from Bruno Fernandes, but then to finish it on his left foot, across Donnarumma, into that far corner, this is top class finishing, and not everyone can do that. So we're actually blessed to have a player like him in our team.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're going to talk about where he's going to start today in a minute when we go over to the tactics board and talk about the starting 11. But before we go over there, I want to start running a poll for you guys to get involved in, and that is who replaces Dorgu in the starting 11. Dorgu, unfortunately, bless him, is injured after having such a good 2 games for United, really coming into his own, and I think we're going to really miss him. Who's going to come in to replace him in the starting 11? Carrick started him in both games, and I'm going to give you the options of Cunha, Mount or Sesko. I think they're the 3 obvious options. So I have an idea of which way the poll's going to go, but let's just run it because Ricky sent me a message, which is very interesting, that I want to bring in as well.
I knew you were going to mention Ricky.
Yeah, he sent me a message that he wants me to read out. So start voting that, and we'll talk about it when we go over to the tactics board and discuss our starting 11. But got some super chats coming in. Big Mal says, not getting carried away, but if we keep these results and performances consistent until the end of the season, I think we would have to consider Carrick.
That's a conversation. Look, I think the conversation with Carrick, and I've said this a few times anyway, but the way I look at it is we should always just try to go for whoever the best person is at the time. I don't think we should look at Carrick and just say, okay, because you've done well in this half a season, we need to go for you right now. There might be better candidates at the time. But if Enrique just says, I want the job today, you're going to say, oh, but Carrick's won 10 games or 14 games, we can't give it. You've got to look for the best person at the time. But so by the end of the season, like I said, if Carrick wins a crazy amount of games, the whole team's changed up and there is a clear sign of progression and Carrick clearly knows what he's doing and he is the best option, there is no other better option, then fair enough, go for him. But I think if we look at the end of the season and there are better managers, we should always try and get whoever's best in class.
I rate that. I respect it. 23 Muggy says, gutted I couldn't make it today to support the protests, but I hope it makes a difference. But let's support Carrick and the team and get the win. Yes, everybody, protests will be going on today, organised by the 1958. We have one, the 1958 has organised them. There's one starting from Hotel Football and another one starting from the top of Sir Matt Busby Way, just as you're moving on to Chester Road. So if you want to go out and have your voices heard for your opinions as a Manchester United fan, then get yourself out there and go and protest. It's a peaceful protest. The club know about it. The police know about it. So if you want to get involved, go ahead and do that. And I mean, I'm excited to be back at Old Trafford today. I'm gutted for the people that can't make it. I've heard a few people haven't been able to make it today, and it's just, I feel like Old Trafford's going to be absolutely buzzing.
100%, yeah.
We have Drayson Goldfinch with a super chat. Thank you very much. And we have Lee Berman, a member for 43 months. 43 months?
It's a long time.
It's a long time, you know.
Like 3-4 years. Yeah.
Thank you, Lee. He says, I understand the Carrick shout for manager. That's only because we have had 2 great performances. He should also be judged on how he manages defeats also. Exactly. And, I am very, very aware that Michael Carrick probably isn't going to win every single game from now until the end of the season. So he will have to respond to certain results, certain setbacks. And, we've played 2 big teams. When he was interim last time, we played Villarreal, we played Chelsea, and we played Arsenal. So, again, 3 very good teams. He's not come up against the teams he should be winning yet.
Wolves.
So let's see how he handles them games.
Yeah, because there's a lot of tests. I think, look, he's got, how many games he got left at the end of the season? 15, 16, I think?
I think it's about 15 now.
15 games at the end of the season. So he has got 15 opportunities to prove that he knows what he's doing in every case scenario. There's more case scenarios, there's more games that are going to be smaller games, that you want to call it that, against the smaller teams than there are going to be against bigger teams. You know, we're going to play loads more games against teams that we should be beating than teams that, I guess, we're the underdog for. So for me, it's like we have to literally look at every game. And I'm not saying put loads of pressure on him, and if he loses, then that's the end of the world. That's obviously not reality, but we have to at least look at him against like a Fulham, like a Bournemouth, like a Brentford, like all these kind of teams where they are going to be a bit iffy and we are going to be playing at difficult stadiums and whatnot. They're the games that we should be really looking at to see what he can do. And also, what's he going to do when he gets injuries? What's he going to do when he gets red cards? How's he going to manage the difficult situations where we might go through 2 losses or a few games where we haven't got a win? How's he going to deal with that? These are the times where we should be looking at him and really judging what he can do if we're going to give him the permanent job. But City and Arsenal are great, but I don't think that's the be-all and end-all to what a manager needs to do.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, good news for us for today's game. I mean, we're hoping it's good news and this isn't the kind of swinging doors moment for Fulham, but they have struggled a little bit on the road this season. They have 6 away defeats, so that works in our favour. That Craven Cottage seems to be their stomping ground, and away from home they have struggled a little bit. United have won the last 7 of the 10 meetings against Fulham. The last match in August was a 1-1 draw, which I felt like United should have won, and we kind of stumbled in that game, which happens a lot. You have Alex Iwobi back in the fold, Calvin Bassey back. You know, they were away for AFCON, but they're back in the mix now. 2 very good players for them. And Harry Wilson, their top scorer, is going to be a huge threat. So let's see how Michael Carrick sets up. Before we head over and do the team, I just want to ask you one question, because I've seen a bit of discourse in it in the comments. Oh, by the way, Shea Lacey is back with the squad today, which is really nice to see.
Sick,
definitely going to touch on that a bit later. But I've seen a little bit of discord about Ahmad Mordz, and I want to set the record straight, because me and you were huge Amad Diallo fans.
Were?
No, we are.
Okay, I can say.
No, we are. We are, have been, are, will be.
Will forever be.
Yeah, huge Amad Diallo fans. Yeah. And it's like certain individuals, and it's, you know, look at football however you want to look at football. No one's ever going to agree. You might be right, we might be wrong, vice versa. You know, you've got to respect everyone's opinions. Football's football, and it's all about opinions. But I think certain people, they just look at goals and assists, and it's like, are you not watching a 90-minute performance? Are you not watching what Amad is bringing to this team?
Yeah.
I mean, going forward, he gets past players, he's exciting, he's tricky, the ball sticks to him like glue, he's strong, he works super hard, and then also getting back. Like, he's so important to...
Does the dirty work,
Yeah, the defensive structure. I mean, the work he puts in. I genuinely think that Amad, for me, is one of the best players we have, and he's so important to the way we play. I rate Amad so highly, and I want him to score just to kind of, you know, put his name out there, but he doesn't have to, because he's playing so well.
Yeah, I 100% agree. He's one of them players that, like you said, innit, once you just watch him play a few times, you'll just understand it. And I feel like a lot of people might not watch United as much as they claim they do, and that's why they don't understand how good Amad is. We've seen it with other players in the past where people will just look at the narrative online and they'll look at, you know, who's everyone's favourite player, and they'll just pick that player to be their go-to guy. But Amad's not necessarily a lot of people's favourite player. A lot of people say, oh, Mbumo or Cunha or Bruno. But Amad's just that silent soldier that just does the job. He doesn't need to be the main guy.
Silent soldier, I love that.
That's a good one, isn't it? I'm going to trademark that, I'm not joking. But he's just the guy that you put in your team and you know he's going to give you 8 or 9 out of 10 every single week. And I can understand and appreciate, early on in the season, Amad wasn't up to form, and I think a lot of people understand that as well. He necessarily wasn't at the pace that we thought he was going to be, but there was a point in the season, maybe like after like 5 or 10 games, where he just locked in, and since then, he's been perfect. He actually hasn't done anything, I'd say, where I look at and think, should Amad be starting today? Every time he starts, he gives us exactly what we need. And there's a reason why, look, even was it the City game or the Arsenal game where I think it was time for Cunha to come on. A lot of people probably would have taken off Amad and put on Cunha and put Mbumo back in right wing. But he took off Mbumo, put Cunha on. I think it was a City game. Took off Mbumo, put Cunha on, kept Amad on the pitch, and we ended up winning the game.
Well.
Same thing against Arsenal. I think Carrick actually knows, you know what, Amad's not the kind of player you actually want to take off the pitch, because he's going to do a job for the whole 90 minutes and he's not going to get tired.
No, his physicality is insane. He keeps it up throughout the whole 90 minutes. You are right on that. And do you know what it is as well? I don't want to start pushing this, he's got to be scoring. Of course, as a forward, you want to show output. And that will happen because we know how good he is.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of people criticising him for shooting too much. I think he makes the right decision. I think when a shot's on, he shoots, and when it's not, he's passing, and he's done that throughout. Since he came into form, and he kind of was having that patch where maybe his decision making wasn't as good as it could have been. But for a long period now, since I can remember, he's making the right decisions. And I think we should just appreciate the way he's playing the game from minute 1 to the 90th minute, like you said.
Yeah.
And I think he's crucial for us. And soon there will be conversations.
I said it. You've heard me say it better times. Ahmad, I even want to put the hot take out there again, but I said Ahmad will start for every team in the league. And I still believe it.
He's a very, very good player.
100%.
Look, we have some super chats coming in. We have Fred Flintstone saying, hoping for a win, Sesko could be vital against low block. Carrick shouldn't get the job anyway. An interim can't become permanent. I don't think we should say shouldn't. I think it's let's be open to opportunities, and I don't think anyone should be nailed on yet. Sean says Mainu and Mount goals today. Yeah, there's a few players who we'd love to see kind of get on the score sheet, obviously as long as we win, but there's a few players who you'd like to see get the flowers a little bit today. James Evans says, hey Beth, today's my 21st birthday. Pray we get a win. Happy birthday, Jamie. Have a brilliant, brilliant day, and I hope United get a win for you. Thomas McArdle says, if Carrick turns the club around, he should get the job. We had big name managers before with not great success. A lot of talk about Michael Carrick, but look, we've had our say on Carrick, and I think it'll continue throughout the season. Let's hear what the fans outside Old Trafford were saying about Michael Carrick's impact on Manchester United so far.
We all like Dameron, but too stubborn, wouldn't change his system, so it's good to see what Carrick do today.
Oh, he's doing a great job so far. It's nice to see a bit of passion back in the club.
Oh, he's been such a good manager. I wish he'd play a 4-4-2 though.
Oh, I think Michael Carrick, for the 2 games that he's been the manager, it's been an upgrade. It's a style of play for sure, but in my opinion, I'm not the one who always tells that Amorim was the problem. I think the problem is much more global and bigger, as Ragnick said, an open heart surgery. I'm always gonna say the manager is not the problem. We've seen in the past, a new manager comes in, style improves for like a half season, and then it kind of goes back downhill. So
I think he's done very good so far.
Good. He's beaten Man City and Arsenal now, so I have a good feeling about him.
Absolutely.
Would you consider him for the full-time job in the summer?
Oh, let's not make an Ollie mistake. Let's wait till the end of the season. We'll make that decision then.
I'd love to keep him. I reckon he'll win the league next season and keep him.
Really?
Yeah. I reckon that's goal. Keep him on and he can win the league.
Yeah.
Okay, love that. And then with Fulham, are you nervous about the fact that they're a bit of a smaller team and that's who United have struggled against before? I mean, not a smaller team, but they're not like the Arsenal and the City. Or are you predicting like a big scoreline for United?
Open for a big score.
What's your prediction?
Yeah. If he keeps going well, yeah, definitely.
Definitely. He's good. He's a good manager, you know. Comes in, wins 2 of the best games, you know, hardest games of the season. Absolutely, you have to keep him after the performance.
The thing is, I am impressed, but he's shown it before, and the players have shown this before. It's not uncommon for us to go from an old manager, from a manager, and then have a transition period like this. The difference, I think, is the dressing room.
Dorgu injured today. Who would be your front 3 going into this game?
You have to put Cunha in there straight away, don't you? It's hard to say. Leave the Carrick to decide. But Sesko up front, that's always a debate.
You put Sesko in?
I would put Sesko in, yeah.
I reckon Cunha.
Yeah, I say Cunha as well. He's done enough to sit there and prove. He's proved himself lots of times. He'll do us well.
I'd probably bring in Mason Mount, but I'm not really sure who they'd bring in. Probably bring in Ahmad.
I want to say move Diallo to the left and Mbumo to the right, Šeško up front, but I think Cunha is the obvious answer.
Probably put Ahmad back there to make the runs up the line.
And then who comes into Ahmad's position?
Probably a bit of rotation for the attackers. Like Cunha, you know, yeah.
Yeah, you going Cunha?
Yeah, and then I'd put Bruno as a cam and Mbumo to right wing, Ahmad, and then left wing Cunha.
Oh no, not really.
Cunha maybe?
Maybe.
Maybe?
Yeah. Mazraoui maybe.
Pardon?
Mazraoui.
Mazraoui, okay, cool.
Don't know.
You don't know? Cunha? No, you're bringing him off the bench again, okay.
You have to replace him with maybe Cunha. Maybe you have to buy another full-back just to replace Dorgu during the summer transfer window to get top 4. You know, and they need someone for the Champions League. Maybe buy a few full-backs or maybe another defensive midfielder just to cover for Dorgu.
For me, starting front 3, I really don't want to leave Ahmad out. I would never leave Ahmad out. So I think we would have to go with Ahmad, Cunha and Mbumo, and then bring Sesko on.
Beth, is your coat getting big every week?
I saw someone in the comments saying, is it a duvet or is it a coat? Look, come up to Manchester when it's raining and, you know, don't put a coat on like that when it's there and waiting for you. It's like a warm hug in the weather where you're freezing. And look, I love, you know, like a nice look, don't get me wrong, but in times like this, I'm choosing comfort.
Comfort all day. You know why it's funny? It's because like you can't see your feet, so it's like it's going to the floor.
It literally just like takes over my whole body. Arsene Wenger on steroids.
Literally Arsene Wenger on steroids. But look, guys, we are at the tactics board. You guys know how this works. We're gonna go through Michael Carrick's predicted 11, what we think Carrick's going to do today. And you guys stay interactive because we're going to run some polls. We've got some polls on Instagram as well that we've run already. So we're going to choose who we think Michael Carrick is going to play in today's game. Let's start off with the obvious. We always do this every week. My main man, Sene Lamens, future captain. No, I'm joking. But Sene Lamens, I mean, Beth chats me about Sene Lamens the last couple of games. He's been amazing.
Love him. Absolutely love him. And I've seen a few people say this, so it's like kind of a little bit contradictory because we are talking about him now, but I've seen people saying the best thing about him is we're not talking about him.
Facts.
But now we are talking about him because everyone keeps saying that. But honestly, the Arsenal game, the way that Arsenal try and dominate the box, and okay, they did score 1 goal off that sort of scenario, but for the majority of the game, he was so cool, so calm, so strong.
Yeah.
And I just think if you're a centre-back playing in front of him, or you're the defensive line, or a team playing in front of him, you feel at ease. Like he just doesn't put any fear in you whatsoever. It's like, I'll be the calm between the sticks. And I just really, really rate him, especially for his age. Like, if you look at how young he is, imagine what he could be like in the next 5 years or so. And then he'll still be young for a keeper. So, okay, anyone could have really come in goal and been an improvement on Onana. So he kind of had that benefit in the sense of, like, you know, he comes into the team and he was catching a ball at Old Trafford and the fans were cheering, and I bet he thought, what's going on here? This is just normal. But I think he's really kind of shown himself to be a proper quality keeper and with a lot of potential as well. I'm excited for his future at United, I am.
Did you see what he said about his gloves with the 8 and the 24?
No, not seen that.
So basically, he has an 8 and a 24 on his gloves, and obviously they asked him, what does it mean? And he said, it's basically Kobe. Anyone knows who Kobe Bryant is? He's a basketball player, very famous, but his 2 numbers were 8 and 24. And the whole thing with Kobe is that he had like a mentality of, like a Mamba mentality, like a strong mentality. And for him, because he's a very quiet guy, on the pitch, he needs to have a different kind of personality because you can't be a quiet goalkeeper, innit? So he has 8 and 24 to kind of remind him of that mentality to be like a different kind of more strong physical personality on the pitch.
I'm not even joking, I've literally got goosebumps.
Is it?
Yeah, my hairs are standing up on my arm. I love stuff like that. I buy into stuff like that so much and I rate that so highly. I just like him.
He's just a guy.
Yeah.
Honestly, he's one of the players that I can defend him for my whole life. Even if he has a terrible game, I'm still going to defend him because I know what he brings to the team. And I know, especially in the future, he's going to be such a vital player for us going forward. So, Sene Lamens starts in this team, walks into the team every day of the week. But let's move on to the rest of the pitch. I mean, where should we start? I want to start off with a bit of a topic, actually. Let's start off at right back. Now, the options, I guess, obviously, Dalot, Mazraoui. Mazraoui is obviously, he's been back from AFCON, but I guess he's back to, full fitness now, coming back into the team. I mean, Beth, for you, who starts at right back?
Who starts at right back? Dalot.
You have to explain that.
Lock me up, throw away the keys. Do you know what it is? I love Mazraoui a lot, but we've won against Arsenal, we've won against City, with Dalot starting right back. I don't want him. I think Mazraoui is a very, very good player, and I think if you ask me who is better, Dalot or Mazraoui, I'd probably edge towards Mazraoui. However, I think Dalot has been, a part of a team that's won the last 2 games. And I thought he had a really good performance against Arsenal, I'm going to be honest. And people don't like to praise players who they don't like or have been poor. And Dalot has had a pretty poor season. And I think since Amorim came into the club, Dalot was poor. Overall.
Yeah.
However, I think you've got to look at it objectively. And if you actually just focus on Dalot as a player against Arsenal, he played well. Why would you take out a player that's played well? He's got the right head on his shoulders. He's got the right mentality. He wants to do well. He'll work hard for you. Is he going to be the right back when United hopefully win the league? Probably not. I mean, he might be, but probably not. But is he a player that's played in the last 2 games where we've won and actually played pretty well? Yeah, I'd keep him in.
It's a big debate. I'm always going to say Mazraoui. Not a case of I don't like Dalot. We actually had this conversation when we did I think it was a hot takes video actually when we recorded it and we spoke about Dalot, and I 100% agree. I think a lot of people will always look at Dalot in a negative way, even if he has a good game. And you also micro-analyze every single thing that he does because you understand that he's not playing well and he's not been playing well. So that negativity is always going to be around Dalot. But I agree in the sense of I don't think he was actually that bad against Arsenal. And against City, after I'd say 20 minutes, he was decent as well. That first 15, 20 minutes, he was very, very shaky. Probably should have had a red card, to be honest. But I think he definitely picked up his game. The only thing that I will say, and the reason why I put Mazraoui, is because even if a player is having a good run of games, if there's a better player ahead of him that can play, I feel like we should always just try and get that better player into the team. It's like, for example, at centre-back, Aiden Heaven was doing very, very well for us, in my opinion. I think he's one of our best players, well, best defenders anyway, when he was starting. But Harry Maguire, we knew was a better footballer than Aiden Heaven, just because of experience, etc. Lisandro Martinez is a better footballer than Aiden Heaven. Even though Aiden Heaven was doing amazingly, and I wouldn't mind seeing him start a game, when you've got a better player who's ready to play, why not play them and get them back into that match sharpness and just have more quality on the pitch. So that's why for me, I'd put Mazraoui in the team. But if Dalot was starting, I wouldn't be too annoyed. But yeah, I wouldn't be too annoyed, but I would still say Mazraoui would start.
Well, over on our Instagram, the followers of the United Stand TV on Instagram, get yourself over there and follow us if you're not already. We get polls on there. We're interactive all throughout the week and a lot on match days as well. So get over to our Instagram. The poll on that we did, should Dalot start or Mazraoui start? And it's 79% Mazraoui, 21% Dalot. But I'm putting my foot down on this one because last week I allowed Mazraoui in the starting 11 and I knew Dalot was going to start. Look, if Mazraoui or Dalot start, I don't care. I think both of them, it's much of a muchness, really. I do think Mazraoui is actually probably a better player. But it's like, I know Carrick's going to pick Dalot. So let's just pick him.
Put Dalot in the team. Just to get it right, let's put Dalot in the team. But if it's wrong, then...
If it's wrong, then you can come for me.
It's the last time. But anyway, let's move on. Like you said, Mazraoui obviously won the vote, but Beth is putting her foot down, so we are putting Dalot
I'm
in the
overruling
team.
you all.
Let's move on to the other side. I'm just going to put Luke Shaw's name because... Luke Shaw.
Yeah.
He's going to start.
Luke Shaw, quietly, just absolutely bossing it every week.
Yeah. Can't even complain. They did a great job against was it Saka last week and Noni as well, both of them. When Saka had to switch over. So yeah, Luke Shaw staying in the team for me. Two centre backs. Again, is this kind of obvious? Is it two players that we're kind of walking into the team, or is there going to be a little bit of a change? Could Lenny Yoro walk in? Could Aiden Heaven come in?
Well, we did a poll as well on Instagram, and it was stick with Maguire and Martinez or change the centre-backs, and it was 91% stick with Maguire and Martinez. And I absolutely agree with that 91% because both of them, I think, complement each other really, really well, actually. I mean, I worry about when pace hits them. Yeah. Them dealing with pace will be a challenge. However, I do think today, and going forward, while they continue putting in the performances that they have done, they've got to stay. I think they've been really good since they've come in together under Carrick.
100%, I agree. I think there isn't really much criticism to really give them. I think just in terms of that confidence in the back line, the experience, we really needed that against Arsenal and City, considering, well, City anyway, just have a very good attack. They've got very good players, Haaland, Semenyo, Doku, all these kind of players who, for most teams, are going to be a difficult competition. But against these two centre-backs, they did a very good job. And against Arsenal, I'll be honest, Arsenal's attack didn't faze me anyway, but Gyökeres can score a goal. He scored yesterday, so he can score a goal. He had absolutely no chance against them, and the rest of their players didn't really do much. So yeah, I think these two players right now, they're forming a very strong partnership. And I think it'll be really interesting to see what happens when De Ligt actually gets fit, whenever that is. If it's this season, next season, I don't know. But if De Ligt, or when De Ligt gets fit, if it is before the end of the season, does Harry Maguire keep his position? Because in my opinion, I think Martinez does. I think he keeps it regardless. Does Harry Maguire stay in this team when De Ligt is fully fit? What do you think?
It's really tough.
If his performances stay like this.
If they stay like that, then
it's hard, yeah.
But De Ligt is the future, and De Ligt is a fantastic centre-back.
Yeah.
I think De Ligt will come back into this team, it's just when. But Maguire's doing excellent for now, and this is why we have a squad. It's why we have a squad. It's like, did anyone think Cunha'd be on the bench for 2 games?
Yep.
But he's going to probably find himself in the starting 11 today. Like, things happen in football, so it's hard to just pick either or.
Yeah.
But I think Maguire will stay until either
the season's done.
until he either drops a poor performance or he has an injury, or which we hope doesn't happen, or I don't know, there's a game that's more suited to delay. I don't know. They're both very similar players, to be honest with you. They have slightly different attributes, but I think it's a tough one. Harry Maguire's done very, very well since he's come in. I do think De Ligt going forward will be the pick for United, but I think Maguire is the last 2 games, and to be honest, any time within the last couple of years when he's been fit has been very, very good. So I'm happy with him playing.
100%. All right, let's move on to the midfield. Again, I feel like the team kind of picks itself a little bit more now compared to, I guess, on the other managers. But I'm going to say straight away, Kobe Mainoo, Casemiro, is that a straight 100% or?
Yeah, 100%.
100%. Kobe Mainoo, Casemiro. I mean, Casemiro, his last season for United. Beth, I mean, chat to me. How important and how crucial is Casemiro to the end of the season being in this team?
Extremely.
Yeah.
Like, please, please, please stay fit. Yeah. There's no one who can do what he does, which is why it is ridiculously important that we replace his position in the right way in the summer. We have to be able to get someone in who can come in and replace Casemiro. And not only his mentality, his leadership and his positional discipline, but the way he can pass through the lines and his creativity from that position. He's just been a quality player for us this season. Yeah, okay, sometimes he gets a little bit stuck in the mud. Sometimes, he's not the quickest to get back, but he has got the brain and he's been crucial in both boxes. I think he's had a really good season. And if you take Casemiro's first season, the best Casemiro's seen, and then you just take out that period under Ten Hag where he was, poor, he come back from that and he was pretty good towards the back end of last season and he's been very good this season. So I wish him very, very well. I'm happy we've seen him play and he's been important this season for us for sure. Yeah,
100%. I agree. I think Casemiro is a super important player in this team, especially him playing next to Kobe Mainoo. I think it actually helps Kobe a lot more than people
They've been
realise.
really well together as a partnership the last couple of games.
Yeah, and I know people had the narrative that they both couldn't play together because of legs.
A lot of that, I think, is Dorgu and Ahmad
tucking in,
coming into midfield and having that pace, being that outlet, the defensive duties. And that's why we're going to move on to it. But replacing Dorgu today is important that Dorgu's getting his flowers for going forward and, the goals. But the work him and Ahmad do, getting back into midfield and adding some pace and energy in to help out Casemiro and Kobe, has, I think, gone a little bit unnoticed. So you need someone who's going to be able to replicate that from Dorgu as well. Yeah, 100%.
I mean, let's move on to that. Let me just put Bruno into the team because it's Bruno Fernandes.
6 years of the GOAT.
6 years, yeah. Literally, was it 2 days ago? That is 6 year anniversary. Bruno Fernandes, one of our best players. What's into the team, our captain. Not really much to debate about that. But let's go straight into it. I mean, let's go straight into the left-hand side. I think we ran a poll on the chat. What were the results?
It was 10% Sesko, 9% Mount, and 81% Cunha.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So, I mean...
Do you want me to bring up Ricky's point now?
Okay, yeah, go on. Let's do that.
So Ricky sent me this. It will probably be Cunha who takes Dorgu's place, but it wouldn't surprise me if it's Mason Mount. Not saying Cunha is lazy by any stretch, but he's a natural forward, whereas Mount is a natural midfielder. Dorgu's defensively been massively important to us, as well as scoring 2 goals. Mount will play that tiny bit deeper than Cunha, plus Cunha has been great off the bench, so maybe you wouldn't want to ruin that. And to that point, I mentioned this. I think Mount would be a great replacement for Dorgu, I really do. But I think you've got to reward a player that has done super well off the bench. Like, if you do well off the bench, you've got to be rewarded with a start. I would put Cunha in, but what would you go with?
Yeah, I agree. I'll put Cunha in. I think he's a next in line. It's weird to say that he's a next in line after Dorgu because everyone would have said it the other way around probably a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
But I think you're 100% right. I think with Cunha, he's done great off the bench, but let's not act like he can't start. People act like if you're good off the bench and that's just your role forever, you're just a bench player. But with Cunha, he was brought in to start. He's a starting Premier League player. I think he's earned that in the last couple of games and in general, just what he's done in the Premier League. He's earned his right to say, I can start a Premier League game against Fulham and do a good job. So in saying that though, even if Mason Mount was to start, I don't think I'd even complain. I think I'd just look at it and say, it's 2 players that are both good enough to start a game for United. Both of them can help us win the game, and the other one can come off the bench and also do a good job. I think when you look at the City game, they both came off the bench and Cunha gave the assist to Mount to score the goal. I know it didn't count, but that's just an example of what they can both do off the bench. So, yeah, for me, I put Cunha in the team. I think he's an excellent player. And like I said, I think he is next in line in that position.
Do you think Ricky has a point, though, on Mount? But I would start Cunha, but yeah, definitely has a point there.
Yeah, 100%. The next two positions, again, kind of picks himself, in my opinion. We've got Brian and Boomer on the right and Sesko up top. Okay, who are you saying?
Ahmad.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about Ahmad. Oh, sorry, Ahmad, are you watching? No, joking.
He's got you on his phone in the dressing room.
Yeah, you just messaged me then.
Ahmad and Mbumo. Sesko off the bench.
Mbumo. Yeah. Ahmad and Mbumo. Brian and Mbumo up top. And Amad Diallo on the right-hand side. So, look, that is our team that we think Michael Carrick is going to pick. Is there any other players that you feel like might be the one that to change this team at all?
You never know. He could go with Sesko up front and with Ahmad and Mbumo off the wings, putting crosses into him. You just don't know. Carrick has been known in the past to switch up his lineups, even when he's won games.
Yeah.
So we don't know which way it'll go, but I think that's our best bet for sure. That's how I see it going. I think when a player does that well off the bench in 2 games in a row, in 2 big games, you've got to reward him with the start, or else what's the motivation? There always should be motivation, obviously, coming off the bench and doing well, but you want to prove that if you work hard and you do the business off the bench, you're going to get a start. So I'd go with that.
100%. So that is our team. Let us know in the comments if you agree. But look, guys, every single week we do something different and we do a hot takes video after the game. And the hot takes video is basically your wildest, but also most interesting and truthful, honest takes. And we read them out and we have a discussion, me and Beth, every single week. And we bring them to you guys. And today we're going to show you what our hot take of the week is.
This is your hot takes. And I want to start off with a bit of a banger.
Go on.
And it is that apart from Haaland, Mbumo is the best forward in the league.
Look, are we going to be shameless today again?
I'm going to be shameless and say, I don't think that's a bad shout.
It's not a crazy shout. Like, it's not like, oh my gosh, how can you say that? And Mbumo has the qualities and has shown, to be fair, that he is up there with the top forwards in the league. I'm trying to think who else would even really be...
Categorically, who's better than Mbumo? Forward player in the league.
No. You can look at someone like Igor Thiago, who's having an amazing season, one of the top goal scorers this season, but I put Mbumo above him. I still say Mbumo's a better player than him, so it's not crazy to say. And I guess you look at last season, Isak's not really been performing as well. Obviously, they had Gyökeres and etc. that were supposed to be doing very well, who aren't doing that good. You got the Newcastle striker, Voltamade, who is doing pretty good in my opinion, but Mbumo can chat to all of them. So, yeah, it's not a crazy shot.
So, Arsenal are top of the league right now. Saka is a very good player. I'd still rather have Mbumo. Lock me up.
Oh, yeah.
Lock me up. And
right now, definitely,
I would
100%. In general, actually, or even like last year, I'd say the same thing.
Over Gyökeres, I'd rather have Mbumo.
Yeah.
Over Trossard, Martinelli, I'd rather have Mbumo.
Yeah, 100%.
I would. And then you go down to City, Semenya, very, very good player. I'd still rather have Mbumo. Haaland is kind of the only player where I think, you know what?
He stands out.
Serious
he stands
goal
out,
machine.
yeah.
But Mbumo, I think he's still going under the radar. His output is brilliant and his conversion rate is fantastic. And he's on double figures now in the Premier League. Seen a lot of people commenting Ekitike. Ekitike is very, very good as well, but
I think it's because he scored yesterday. Obviously, this was recorded before yesterday. So
yeah, I'm not being reactionary to that. I think Ekitike is a baller. There's a lot of good forwards in the Premier League, but I just think Mbumo needs his flowers. Like, he's been doing it for a long time now. Now he's in the United shirt. He's been an absolute blessing to us this season. Scored some big goals for us.
Yep.
He's our top scorer, isn't he, as well?
Definitely,
so it's just, I rate Mbumo super, super highly.
Put it this way, if you offered me right now to swap Mbumo for Ekitike, I'd say no.
Yeah, me too.
I'd say no. And I understand, yes, Ekitike is a great player, but I'd say no. I think Mbumo, for what we have and for what we need, a player like can play multiple positions. He can play down the middle, he can play on the right, he can play on the left, and he has been our best player. I wouldn't swap him for anyone other than Haaland, if I'm being honest. So that's why I think he's the next best.
Team news is out in 1 minute. Let's see if Mbumo will be starting once again. I'm excited, I'm excited to see this lineup. Apparently Joshua Zirkzee is with the squad as well, so Shea Lacey and Joshua Zirkzee. It's going to be interesting to see the squad here. Also, Benjamin Sesko got a little buzz cut, changed his hair up. Maybe it's time for a goal.
It's time.
Henrik Kak, thank you for your super chat. Mash Radley says, because of Dorgu's work rate, maybe Mazraoui should replace him. Nah, we need more output going forward. Tom Grant says, wild one, but Lacey deserves a start, at least a sub. Nah, I don't think Lacey should be starting yet, but as a sub, it'd be good to see him get on and get some game time if we're in a good position. He's definitely an exciting player. Series Talk 987 says, Cunha has delivered from the bench. I would start Sesko and put Ahmad on the left, but I think Carrick will start Cunha, who deserve it as well. GGMU. Well, speaking of which, lot of talk around Cunha. We can tell you he's back in the starting 11 for Manchester United as Michael Carrick names his starting 11. It is Lamens in goal. It is Dalot at right back. It is Maguire and Martinez as the centre backs. It is Luke Shaw at left back. It is a midfield two of Casemiro and Mainu, and it is a front three of Ahmad, Mbeumo and Cunha. We got it spot on, Mordz.
Why Bruno benched?
Oh wait, Bruno. Bruno's that nailed on that I forgot about him. And Bruno, of course, the captain.
Got it spot on.
Is in behind.
Let's do it. Another one, right?
Yeah, exactly. I ain't got to put my foot down.
No, you're right. Yeah, true. You're all right. Dalot, to be fair, it makes sense.
I'm happy with that team. Are you happy?
Yeah, 100%. That's the team that we predicted. Like I said, there are some players that I wouldn't mind being in the team, like Mason Mount. If he was starting, I wouldn't mind it. Mazraoui, I said I wanted to start, but again, I don't mind Dalot starting. So for me, that team is as good as it can get, really.
Do you want to hear the bench?
Go on.
The bench is Bayinde, Heaven, Malacia, Mazraoui, Yoro, Ugarte, Lacey, Sesko and Xerxes.
It's all right.
Mount isn't on the bench.
Oh, is he not?
That's weird. He must have got injured.
No way.
No, he must have.
Because
there's only one midfielder on the bench.
That's Ugarte.
And that's Ugarte. So if Mount was fit, he would be on there.
I'm hoping that's a mistake.
No.
We'll have to see, like, when they're warming up, we'll see if he actually doesn't come out.
Let's see. Well, currently, on the official Manchester United website, Mason Mount is not on the bench, which I'm gutted about. But anyway, we'll put that to one side because there's a lot of... A lot of talking points there. If Mount's injured again, I would be gutted. I really would. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we're talking about Mount potentially starting. He's not even on the bench, which is not because he's been left out. It's because it'll because of an injury or a knock if he's not there. So, I mean, hope everything's okay. But Cunha comes back in and well-deserved, Mordz.
100% well-deserved. He's earned it. He's earned that right. I think in the last couple of games, he's definitely put in a huge performance. He obviously got the winner against Arsenal, which... Let's be honest, that was one of them games where we're going to remember that game for a very, very long time. Beating Arsenal at home when they're in the title race and we're taking the points off them. We're all going to remember that game, and it's because of that brilliant Cunha goal. So, I think he's done a lot in the last couple of games. And like I said before, he is good enough to start anyway. You know, it's not a case of he came in as a bench player and he just happened to have a few good games and now he's starting him. No, he came in to be a starter. It just so happened that Dorgu was just playing amazingly in his position. So Dorgu obviously ran with that. But yeah, I think Cunha, he does offer something different to Dorgu though. That's one thing I will say. I want to see what it's like because Dorgu is a lot quicker, a lot more athletic. He does get up and down a lot better than I think Cunha does. But I think the way how Cunha played in terms of like getting onto the ball, dropping in deep, driving with the ball, he loves to take on players when he's out wide and put a cross in. So, and obviously what he did against Arsenal, drift into that middle, just outside the box and obviously create something from there. So I think he offers something different to Dorgu. So I'm really excited to see what he can do in this game.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I'm excited for him. He'll be feeling himself. He'll be feeling confident. And I think that's always a good thing for a player to have coming into a game at Old Trafford. So I'm excited. I'm very, very excited for the game. I mean, we've got Tobea saying, like Cunha's ball carrying. Yeah, it's a big asset that he has, which he's one of the best ball carriers that I've seen, to be honest with you. I mean, keep getting your super chats in. Get your thoughts in on the lineup. We're trying to get an update on Mason Mount. Hopefully it's nothing too serious, but let's see. We also have a super chat in from 1 Inch Wonder saying Ahmad would start for every Prem team is almost as mad as Ricky's love for Luke Shaw. 2 goals and 2 assists in 17. Good player, but has work to do.
What team does you start for?
Mordz will argue with you.
No, like actually, I'm not even trying to genuinely, what team does you start for? The only team I can kind of hear
maybe City.
Is City. That's literally it. And that's only because Semenyo just come into the team.
And Doku's doing well. And Cherky.
I think Ahmad can chat to all I say this all the time. Ahmad just needs the platform.
I think he's better. I'd have him in over Doku. Semenyo is very good. Cherky's very good.
Cherky, to me, Cherky's main position isn't as a winger.
Yeah, it's true.
You know what I mean? So it's like, he can't, yes, I guess he can play out wide, but his main position isn't a winger. So for me, City's the only team that I can kind of hear it. But to me, it's like, again, give Ahmad the platform to play in this position for a consistent run of games, and everyone will agree with what I'm saying. I promise you that. By the end of the season, people will say the same thing. That's what I think.
Rob WS2 says United have the longest current unbeaten run in the Premier League with 6 games. A lovely stat for a Sunday. Let's make it 7 games with a victory today. Love that. Thank you for that stat. Thomas McArdle says, if Carrick turns the club around, he should get the job. We had big name managers before and not had great successes. I've done that one. Thank you very much, everyone, getting your comments in. We have got over 12,000 of you watching, and I think we're on about 900-ish likes now. So smash a like on the video if you've not already. If you're watching live and you're liking what you're seeing, make sure you smash a like. It really does help us out and just helps us bring more to the show. So thank you very much for everyone getting involved. I mean, we are shortly going to be speaking to Elizabeth from the Fulhamish podcast. I'm excited to see her thoughts on...
Two Elizabeths.
Yeah, two Elizabeths. Yeah, a lot of people think I'm a Bethany, but you would be mistaken.
Yep.
I am an Elizabeth here. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see their thoughts. Do you think Fulham will be coming into this game a little bit more nervous as they would have been a few weeks ago?
Ooh, a little bit more. I feel like Fulham look at United and think they can do something every time. Because I've heard the Fulham players talk about United before, and they're always a bit confident. I've heard it will be talking about United when he's playing as a Calvin Bassey. Like, these guys always feel confident when they're playing against United because they know that they can put in a good performance against us, and they have put in good performances against us. So I think they'll be confident regardless, and especially because of the position that they're in, knowing, like I said earlier on in the show, knowing that they can catch us up pretty much. I mean, they'll be 1 point below us if they win today. Knowing that they can catch us up and potentially battle for them European places, potentially even a 5th place finish if they can continue like having a good run of form and getting points. I think today they're going to be completely full of energy and wanting to win this game.
Yeah, but I think United will...
Yeah, United's still going to win.
Yeah, United's still going to win. United's still going to win. Do you want to hear a crazy Mbumo stat?
Go on.
That serves my cause even more for being the leader of MUFC. In the last 2 seasons, only Mohamed Salah and Erling Haaland have had a hand in more Premier League goals than Brian Mbumo. Man United won just 20% of games whilst Mbumo was at the Africa Cup of Nations this season. Played 5, won 1, drew 3, lost 1, compared to 50% with the Cameroonian in the starting 11. Played 18, won 9, drew 5, lost 4. So big impact. And also don't forget, Ahmad away at AFCON did have an impact as well. But Mbumo's goal contributions like across the Premier League, even before he came to United, it's just...
3rd behind Salah and Haaland, that's not bad company to be in. You
No.
know what I mean? So I'm not going to say he's as good as those players, but let's be honest, like...
It's not a wild shout saying he's the best forward in the Premier League apart from Haaland.
It's not. I think at least he's in the conversation. Everyone's going to have their own player who they think's better, and sometimes it is just preference, kind of play that you prefer, but he's definitely in that conversation after Haaland. Even Salah's not, right now, Salah anyway isn't in the conversation. Overall, yes, Salah's definitely up there, but right now, talking about top forwards in the Premier League, and Mbumo can chat to the other guys after Haaland.
When you look at this bench, Mordz, you've got Binde, Heaven, Malacia, Mazraoui, Yoro, Ugarte, Lacey, Sesko, Xerxes. I mean, get your comments in as well, please. And we're going to be setting up a Q&A very shortly, so get your questions into me and Mordz. We will quick fire go through that towards the end of the show. But who out of the names on the bench do you want to see, and who do you think is going to make the most impact for United?
Read the bench again, sorry, one more time.
Binde,
Yeah.
Heaven,
Yeah.
Malacia, Mazraoui, Yoro, Ugarte, Lacey, Sesko, Xerxes.
There's one name that actually stood out to me, and it might be a bit different, but Shea Lacey.
Do you think he'll get on?
I don't know, that's the thing. I don't know you'll get on, but that's the only name that I actually thought, you know what, if there's any, it's going to be a player that comes on the pitch and he's going to try and do something insane, or he's going to try and just be be like a catalyst for United to actually go and get a goal. It's Shea Lacey, and yes, we only saw him a little bit in that. Was it the Brighton game when he got the red card, and then was it the game before that as well? Wait, was it the game? What was the game that hit the crossbar?
Villa.
Was it the
Villa away, right? Right.
Was it Villa?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
I think it was Villa away.
Okay. Was it Villa?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Maybe it was Villa.
Oh, was it Burnley?
No,
it was Burnley.
Yeah,
it was Burnley. He came on against Villa. It was Burnley. My bad.
Yeah, Burnley. Yeah. So him coming in that game, and those 2 shots, yes or no, one of them hit the crossbar, one of them went over, but just the intention. It was the intent for me that kind of shocked me. And it made me think, okay, like we've got a player here who is willing to go out and actually try to take the game by himself almost and actually go and win it. And we know the quality that he's got. He's obviously very young. He still needs to even grow into the player that we want him to be. But if any player on that bench was to come on the pitch and I feel like just create some kind of spark, I think it would be Shea Lacey.
I really want to see Lacey because I think he's got so much to his game. We've got so much more to see from him. And I was really gutted for him when he got sent off against Brighton because he was just a young kid, a bit of an experience and a bit of emotion. And senior players hopefully put their arm around him and he'll learn from that. And, you know, there's so much more to come from him. And to be honest, we were terrible that day. We definitely didn't lose because of that. And hopefully he'll learn from that mistake in the games that we're probably losing anyway, let's be real. But I'm excited to see Benjamin Sesko. He's got the buzz cut. He shaved the head.
He does.
He means business.
He does.
He's seen Ekatike scoring this weekend. He's seen Gyökeres put one away against Leeds, and he's thinking, look, now it's my time to shine.
Time. And let's be honest, like there was a point before kind of Carrick came in. There was a point, I think it was the Burnley game even, where he got 2 goals straight away. And it almost felt like, okay, like maybe we're seeing what Sesko can do if we can give him the ball, if we can give him them opportunities. We can see a little bit of a glimpse, a shine of the play that Sesko really is. And then obviously he kind of came out of the team, but we were still playing well, so it made a bit more sense. But for me, I think Sesko, if we can play to his strengths, if we can play to the player that Sesko is in terms of, you know, putting it in the box for him and creating loads of chances for him, playing it in behind like Bruno did for that goal, I think we're going to see the Sesko that we paid, the 6-7 million for, we're going to see that level of a player if we can actually play to his strengths.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, Usman's just stuck the starting lineup in our forum group chat and said, sticking to my 5-1 score prediction.
5-1.
Oh, see, this is what happens with United fans. We get way too ahead of ourselves. Way too ahead of ourselves.
A lot of people say that we're going to win the league if we win the next 10 games.
Oh, God. It's just like, I mean, I really hope that these people are right, but I think it's going to be a cagey game. I do expect United to win, but I think it's not going to be an easy one for sure. I mean, look, let's speak to a Fulham fan because I'm excited to see what they have to say. Elizabeth joined us from the Fulhamish podcast. Elizabeth, how are you? How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Oh, we're really good. It's great to have you back on. We had you on last season. I think we're speaking a little bit about Fulham having European hopes. Didn't really come into fruition. Have you got the same hopes again this season, though?
Yeah, definitely. I think all Fulham fans, since we established sort of Premier League stability a couple of seasons ago, all we want is maybe to make it to the Europa Conference League and also a really good cup run. I'd love to get to Wembley in one of the cups.
Yeah, it's great to kind of see Fulham come through that transition of coming up through the Championship into the Premier League. Marco Silva done an incredible job for you guys. I mean, what are your thoughts on Marco Silva? Because he keeps getting linked to other clubs. Like, he's been linked to United a few times. You know, he's been linked to other clubs. I think will probably get linked to the Tottenham job as well in the summer. I mean, what are your thoughts on him? And do you think Fulham will be able to keep hold of him?
I hope so. It's hard to say at the moment. There have been rumblings for the last couple of months that he's signed a deal, he's in the last year of his contract, that he wants to stay at Fulham, that he signed the deal, and then there's been absolutely no confirmation of that. So it is really difficult, and he does keep getting linked to these bigger jobs, and he is very ambitious. We know that from his past, so it wouldn't massively surprise me. He has been backed in the January transfer window, which has come as a surprise to quite a lot of Fulham fans, and I think hopefully that's a good sign that he'll sign a contract and we'll be able to keep him longer. But I think Fulham fans are so united and wanting to keep him as long as possible at the club.
I mean, coming into today's game, we've had some interesting games in the past at Old Trafford. One that always sticks out to me was the sending-offs. The Mitrovic one, I
can't talk about that.
The Marco Silva one. Yeah, it always sticks out to me. I mean, Fulham's always a very interesting game to us. They're sort of a bogey-ish team for us, but then we've also had good performance against you in the past. But it always seems very cagey. It always seems very edgy. I mean, are you a little bit more nervous coming to Old Trafford now that Michael Carrick is in the dugout compared to when Ruben Amorim was here? I mean, we've obviously had 2 very, very good results against City and Arsenal, but then again, at the same time, it would be very typical United to go and lose this game today. So how are you feeling coming into Old Trafford today?
It's a difficult one. Obviously, I feel worse about this game than I would have a few weeks ago when Amorim was still in charge. Amorim hit the stubbornness about the formation. I just thought was never working for United. I never saw it working. I thought maybe 3-4 years down the line, if you'd stuck at it, maybe it would have worked then, but that kind of time is just not afforded, and probably quite rightly so. And I watched all of the Arsenal game last weekend and thought United were very impressive. I watched the highlights of the City game and thought United were very impressive. I think in my heart, I've still got a little bit of hope because I know what can happen to Manchester United at home, and I have seen Manchester United fold at home loads, but I must say I'm not feeling too optimistic.
Mordz, do you want to jump in?
Yeah, no, I've got a couple of questions. I was looking for your starting lineup just now, and I noticed that Calvin Bassey's on your bench. Is that what's the situation with him? Because I know he's obviously one of your, in my opinion, he's one of your top players. Obviously, he did go to AFCON and he came back. I think was he on the bench for the Brighton game as well? I don't think he played for the Brighton game. So is that a player that you feel like is going to be a huge loss for you in your defence?
Yeah, the Calvin Bassey situation is one that's been causing loads of conversation and consternation around Fulham fans, and especially because coming into this game, he's had quite a lot of joy at Man United in the past, dare I say. Yeah. So Silva has this policy of when players are out injured or going away to AFCON or out for a short period of time, if the replacement that comes in this case it's Jorge Cuenca, plays well, he doesn't slot the starting player back in when they come back. Even though I think all Fulham fans kind of agree that at some point we'll revert to the mean, revert to the norm, and Bassey should be starting. He was our player of the season last season. He's an incredibly good player. He's one of our most important players. It's kind of very harsh on Cuenca because Cuenca has done nothing wrong. I was kind of expecting this game to be an opportunity for Silva to test both Cuenca and Bassey and play a 5 at the back. He hasn't gone for that, so I do think we'll see Cuenca. And all of this game, if he makes a mistake today, maybe Bassey will come back in next week.
And what about Tete as well on the bench? I know he's been another starter for you for the majority of the season. He did have an injury though early on. Yeah. I think start of January, maybe end of December, start of January, he got an injury, but he's back on the bench for you guys. Is that another player that you feel like he's going to make a difference when he eventually comes back in the team?
Yeah, so excited to see Tete back. I was hoping he'd start this game, maybe a little bit too soon. But yeah, there were whispers at the end of last game, people who were sat near him in the stands, that he was going to be back. He's such an exciting player. He's got pace and he's got ability in those one-on-one situations. He's got so much tenacity and strength to hold up the ball. And also he does have the speed to push forwards. Kenny Tete is just an underrated hero for us. He has had his injury problems, but yeah, I'm delighted to see him back on the bench.
2 players that could change the game for you, to be fair.
Yeah, I also want to ask a little bit about Sasha Lukic as well, because he's done really well in midfield, right? And how big of a miss is he?
Oh, that's an interesting one. In a game like this, where we're coming difficult place to go, game Fulham are expected to lose, I would have liked to see a slightly more tenacious midfield, so Lukic alongside Berger. But I will say, before Lukic got injured, he wasn't massively covering himself in glory in all of Fulham's game. And we only were playing him alongside Sander Berger because Iwobi was away at AFCON. I think that the Iwobi-Berger pairing in easier games works for us 100 times out of 100. I love it. I think it provides us stability whilst also providing us attacking thrust. I must say, I'm slightly worried it's not going to be strong enough today.
Do you know what? When you talk about your players there, you're talking about Iwobi, Sander Berger as well. I think Sander Berger's such a good player, by the way. And Iwobi as well, you've got a lot of strength in your side, which I think could cause us quite a few problems. You bulldoze a lot of sides with your strength, and that could cause us a few issues. And Cunha coming back in today, I think, will be a good thing for us because he has that strength where he can kind of stand up against them sort of players. Is there anyone in that United side where you're like, you know what, they could cause us some problems? Anyone who you worried about as a threat as a United player?
Well, you mentioned Cunha, and I think that he is the one that he's terrorised Fulham before. When Wolves came to the cottage about 16 months ago, 14 months ago now, Wolves played us off the park. They beat us 4-1 and Cunha was the star man there. And I've always loved watching him. So I think he's the main name. But Mbeumo as well, he's ex-Brentford, which for Fulham fans is a huge deal. We really do not like Mbeumo at all, and we really we don't want to see him do well because he used to play for our rivals and he was a star player for our rivals, and he scored quite a lot of quite important goals against Fulham. So always a bit of a stressful one there as well for Fulham fans.
Did not know that.
I didn't know that as well. I feel like Mbeumo was such a likeable character, but then when you actually deep it and the rivalry, then you kind of understand it from that aspect. Look, I want to ask you a little bit about Harry Wilson because I've said it on this show, and I've not watched every single Fulham game this season, but I've watched quite a lot of Fulham. And Harry Wilson, right? I think he's one of the better players outside the top 6. I think he's one of the best players outside the top 6. I'm going to be honest with you. I know he's had peaks and troughs, but he's been on such good form. I mean, how good of a player is he? And yeah, how highly do you rate him?
So highly, our most important player this season, without a shadow of doubt. And like, nobody really saw it coming. He's had a few injury issues in the past and also some form issues. He came in the same time as Silva, so summer 2021. He's been at the club for quite a while.
Wow.
Yeah, he's been out injured for he was out injured for basically a full season. I think it was 22-23. But yeah, he's been here a long, long time. The form that he's come into this season, it feels like he's really learned to read the game in a much more mature way, and he's able to make decisions and use his strengths a lot better. And he's also in the final year of his contract, so it's a risky time for Fulham fans at the moment. But he has been so important to Fulham. It's just impossible to overstate how much his goals and his contributions have changed the season.
It's that last year of the contract sort of players. We saw it with Rashford.
We have it a lot.
He was falling out when he was like that, and you want that contract again, or I don't know. No, but he has been a good player. Do you want to?
I've got one more question though, and it's really just kind of like to wrap up where I want to know your opinion on where do you feel like Fulham's target is for the end of the season. You're obviously not too far away from us. If you win today, you get pretty close to where the top 5, top 6, top 7 is. Realistically, I know obviously you want to strive for everything, but realistically, where do you feel like Fulham should aim to finish this season?
I think my number one goal, I would snap your hand off, honestly, for a trip to Wembley in the FA Cup. I think that's the thing I want more than anything than any league finish, which Fulham haven't had in forever. It would just be amazing. In terms of the league, we're always looking at the Europa Conference League spot. Like, Fulham fans, that is, I think, the most optimistic Fulham fan thinks that you'll finish in the Europa Conference League. Yeah, so to finish 7th or 8th and finish there in terms of league finish, I think that is where Fulham fans are aiming.
I like that.
I like that. Yeah. Trip to Wembley, I get that, because under Ten Hag we had a few trips to Wembley and it was just, I loved it.
You don't realise that with, I guess, obviously respectfully, smaller clubs, like Crystal Palace, like Fulham, when they go to Wembley, it's like a huge deal. You know what I mean? Like for
us, it is nowadays as well. It's much rarer for us nowadays.
But I can understand, like, for a Fulham fan as well, even like respectfully, I don't actually no respect to Newcastle, but for them, even winning the Carabao Cup the other day, like the biggest thing in their whole life for most of them, they've never seen their team lift a trophy. So I completely agree. I think with Fulham, getting to Wembley and potentially even winning a cup would be huge for them.
And the way Marco Silva sets you up sometimes, you can see that you could do damage in them cup ties because of how edgy he can make games. And that's what I kind of wanted to wrap up on in this conversation we're having is, how do you expect the game to play out today?
I think there's like a head v heart thing here, right? Like, I think Manchester United will probably win this game quite comfortably. Maybe Fulham will score, but like, I think it will be pretty comfortable for United. But what I'm hoping is that, and this is very much my heart talking, not what I'm expecting, but like in the games against Manchester City and Arsenal, Man United didn't dominate on the ball. Like, there was more possession to the opposition. And I'm hoping that at home against a team like Fulham, Manchester United will be expected to dominate and Carrick won't really know what to do. That is what I hope. That maybe if we get an early goal, like, Man United fans don't have short memories. Things have gone against Man United at Old Trafford like quite a lot this season and previous seasons. And hopefully the atmosphere will start to turn and then Fulham might be able to capitalise. But I do kind of think that I see like quite a comfortable win for United on the cards, if I'm honest.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember Iwobi strolling through us last season. It just wasn't nice. Hopefully that will change in today's game for us. And then, second to last question, we asked this to every opposition fan coming on. If you could take one player from United's squad and put them in your Fulham team, who would it be and why?
Oh, great question. Obviously Cunha.
I thought you were going to say that.
I would have taken Cunha out of any squad that he's been in, yeah. I just think his attacking threat is so exciting. He's got such dynamism on the ball.
Do you know what's interesting for United fans is before this season, like, everyone would say Bruno. Every single fan we had on would say Bruno. Near enough, like, I'd say 95% of the time. Yeah. But a lot, even though Cunha hasn't had like the best start to life as a United player, and don't get me wrong, we all know he's a very good player, so nobody's like kind of worried because we all know how good he can be, and he has shown it in certain games, and he's definitely come to life under Michael Carrick. so many opposition fans have said Cunha, and that just shows like how well rated he is across the league as well. So, yeah, thank you so much. And finally, score prediction, Elizabeth.
I'll go with my heart. I think Fulham are going to win 3-1, but if I was going with my head, it would be slightly different.
Okay, we respect that. We respect that. I respect that. You know, you're backing your team. I like it. It goes against everything you've said, but I like it. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Where can everyone find you if they want to go and watch a little bit of Fulham content?
We're at Fulhamish Pod on pretty much everything, and I'm at ESBarnard _ on pretty much everything.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Look, I would say good luck for today's game, but we wouldn't mean it. But I genuinely am saying good luck for that European conference spot, and yeah, I wish you very well for the rest of the season, apart from today.
And you know what? Because we're not in any cup competitions, I want you to win as well.
Yeah, we're backing Fulham to win the cup. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
See ya. Yeah, I want Fulham to win the cup.
Yeah, so do I. I really want Fulham to win the cup now.
It's the FA Cup, innit? Obviously, Carabao Cup. I don't know I can't remember who's. Oh yeah, it's the second leg of the two ties. Yeah, but yeah, now look. To be fair, the fact that she's saying that she thinks we're going to win anyway is a bit crazy. But yeah, I think Fulham are going to, like I said before, they're going to be confident. They're going to want to come out here and actually kind of prove that they can compete for these European places. The fact that they're saying as well that she's a Conference League for them is good. Like they're happy with a Conference League. That's even the top of their expectations. When realistically they could actually challenge for a Europa League as well. Means that look, they're going to be trying to fight for every single point, and yeah, it's going to be a difficult game.
Yeah, it's very, very difficult. We're trying to work on getting some protest footage into the show as well. That protest is currently ongoing in and around Old Trafford. So we're trying to get some footage to you guys so people around the world can see what's going on before this Fulham game from a lot of the United fan base who are having their voices heard. If you want to have a look at any of the images or footage that's currently out on social media, go and look on at the United Stand on X, and I think there's some bits flying about on there, but we will try and get some stuff to you in the show as well. Just an update on Mason Mount. Michael Carrick has said that it is a knock for Mason Mount. He said he took a bit of a knock in training. It's nothing serious, but obviously very disappointed that he's not with us today, but he'll be back very, very soon. I think with Mason Mount, they literally, like, if it's anything,
put him out.
Put him out. It's just like wrapping him in cotton wool massively. It is frustrating though, it really is.
In training. That's what I said about the lids, by the way.
Don't. I saw some, I don't even want to bring it up on the show because I don't want to worry anyone, but I saw some, I went down this mad rabbit hole about Delit the other day.
Oh, I think I've seen
Did
it.
you see that?
Yeah, I'm
on
X.
Yeah. Do you believe it?
No.
I'm telling myself it's not true.
Can't be true.
I'm telling myself it's not true. Well, I'm not saying it on here because, you know, it's probably not true, but I ended up down that rabbit hole and I was really worried for my life. I was like, I was like, no way, what is going on? And then I was scrolling from, Anyway, hopefully Delit is back fit and firing very, very soon. But yeah, Mason Mount being out is a miss for United today.
Yeah.
It is a miss, especially, you know, in that front three. You know, if we want to make a substitution, Mason Mount is a really, really good option. So it's unfortunate that it just feels like we can't fully rely on him ever. It's like whenever we need him, he's out.
Yeah, when we don't need him, he plays well.
It's like when Bruno got injured, he was out.
Yeah.
Now Doggy's injured, out.
But I think this is important because with a player like Mason Mount, I love Mason Mount. I've always said that I think as a player, he's amazing. I think he can do so much, and I think he's so valuable to this team. But at the end of the day, you got to look at it like this. We always talk about wages. We always talk about consistency with certain players. We always talk about availability. Mount isn't available. He isn't available, and I'm pretty sure he's on a decent wage as well. I don't know the numbers. I can't throw any numbers out there, but I'm sure he's on a decent wage. For me, it's like if we can actually go and get a player who we know is going to be consistent, we know is going to be available, we know he's not as injury prone as Mason Mount, there's a conversation there to be had at the end of the season, in my opinion, because as much as I love him, it's like we need players to be here. And these kind of games, let's say we were to go and, let's say in today's game, it was a point where we needed to bring on a sub and we only had, I don't know, Shea Lacey left to bring on. Big up Shea Lacey, I love him, but he's a young player. There's no real reason why we should be relying on Shea Lacey. But because Mount is injured once again, we don't have him available. We've got to start looking and thinking we might need to replace Mason Mount eventually because we can't keep doing this every single season.
No, I'm a big Mason Mount fan, like you said, and I was excited when we signed him because I obviously didn't think he was going to have this bad of an injury record. But I agree. I think if this continues, you really do have to have the conversation. But no one's going to take him on the wages on. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
And it is frustrating because if he was fully, I think most people can agree if he was fully fit and firing every week, no one would want to sell him. Everyone would want him in the team and in and around the team because he's a quality player. But he just is never fit, and it's like it's a squad member that's a first team player that is just so unreliable. And you say, well, don't write him off though. But like you said, it has been 3 years now, and he's not got firing. He's had moments and he's had games where he's been really good, but he's not got on that streak. And you just want to see Mason Mount have a full season. Like Luke Shaw's had injury issues, but look, he's had seasons. He's had like this season as well. I don't know. It's frustrating. It really, really is.
Yeah, to me, if you're injured a lot, that to me is almost just as bad as a player who's just not performing. Because if a player who's not performing, at least he's on the pitch. At least he's a body that we can put on the pitch. Yeah, he might not be performing well, but at least we have that availability. We have the opportunity, or you have the opportunity as a player to go and play well. If you're just injured, it's like we're just paying thin air. We're paying oxygen to just be at the club. So it's like, what's the point? To me, that's just as bad as someone who's not playing well.
Chilling with Robert says, Beth, spill the beans on the rabbit hole. No. I'm not. It would be...
It's a rabbit hole for a reason. If you find it, you find it.
This is what I mean. Like, it wouldn't be right of me to say on this platform where a lot of people are watching it something that's maybe not entirely true. So search Delete on Twitter and you might find out what we're talking about. Mez Nelson says, Zirkzee win it against Fulham. Seen it before. Oh, I hope Zirkzee... I mean, I don't even know if he'll get off the bench, but he's not been fit under Michael Carrick yet. You never know. Michael Carrick might really like him. Might bring him on. Who knows? Yeah. I wish the best for Zirkzee because I think he seems like he's got his heart in the right place, but I think we should have let him go this January, I'm going to be honest, for his own sake.
Yeah, I agree. And I feel like with Zirkzee, he's the kind of player where, I mentioned this before, I'm not going to say the player, I'll mention it because I know people are going to try and do the comparison thing, but there's certain players that are they're there to be a squad player. They don't have to start every game. They're not supposed to start every game. In fact, in an ideal situation, they're not going to start every game, but they're there to be a squad player. I actually think Zirkzee is a good footballer. I think he actually is technically good, and I think there's some qualities that he has that I think a lot of teams will look at and think, oh, I actually want that in a player. But the reality is, I don't think he's at the standard of a starting, I guess, striker or 10 or wherever he wants to play. He's not at the standard that we need him to be. So for me, he is a good squad player. Bring him in cup games, bring him in on the 60th, 70th minute when you want to change things around, or maybe you want to see a game off in the last 10 minutes, bring him in here and there. And that's the kind of player that Zirkzee is right now at his age. Maybe in the next 5 years, he might go and develop to be better. But as of right now, he is a good squad player. So for me, because he hasn't had, I guess at the start of the season, the first half of the season, he wasn't getting the most amount of opportunities and his form was just really all over the place. I think that's why it would have been good to let him go in January, just to let him go and play football. But now that we know he is starting, I think as a sub, I think he'll be valuable for us.
We have a super chat in saying left side looks more vulnerable with Dorgu out. It is unfortunate that Dorgu is missing, but this is why you do have a squad. And how amazing is it to be able to replace him with a player like Cunha? Yeah. I am gutted for Dorgu though, and I do think he'll be a miss. Michael Gibbs says, not happy with Sesko being dropped again. It's not dropped. He's not been in the side since Carrick has come in. So it's like he's not dropped. It's just he needs to work his way back into the side. You can't just have it handed to you. You've got to show it while you're on. He'll take strides towards it. I think he'll get minutes. Daniel Thompson says, hope you're well, Beth and Mordz and the United stand. Big game ahead. Hopefully we keep our good momentum and be phenomenal like AJ Styles. It's that time. Claim the throne, earn the day, never give up. Let's go to work. Daniel always has a super good super chat to put in. Thank you, Daniel. Appreciate it. Chilly Robert says, #boring Beth, jokes, much love. Chilly Robert, I appreciate the super chats, but I can't talk about that Delete thing on here. It'd just be irresponsible, but I appreciate the super chats.
He was at Carrick the other day, though.
Yeah.
That's what I would say. He was at Carrick the other day, so yeah.
He was. Fingers crossed. Anyway, guys, we said that we would get it for you, and we have delivered. So we wanted to show you some protest footage from outside Old Trafford live on the show. So yeah, let's roll the clip. I said the Stretford end. I'll be singing more of that when I get to the game, when I get to Old Trafford. But look, wanted to bring that in and people getting their voices heard, yeah.
Yeah, that's what we need to do. Literally, obviously we can't do that every week. It's not realistic, but that's exactly what needs to happen. Look, and we talk about the owners all the time on this channel. Everyone knows our opinions, and the reality is we're in a position where we've got people. I was actually going to rant about this, but I'm not going to do it today. I'll do it maybe in the forum or something.
You like a little rant sometimes.
I love a little rant, but yeah, I just think these are the kind of things that need to happen at our club.
Fan base needs to come together.
Yeah.
And that's the most important thing. Look, speaking about the fan base, we also were at Old Trafford a little bit earlier to see what the fans' score predictions were.
Oh, it's got to be 3-1, 2-0 or 3-1. I'd like to go 2-0, clean sheet.
Who's scoring?
Cunha, my favourite, and Mbeumo.
I reckon 2-0 and I reckon Bruno and Cunha.
It's illegal, I can't say it because it's one of my little pet hate things. I can't say any score predictions today, I'm afraid.
Because you don't want to, yeah, I get it.
Oh, United 2, Fulham 1.
Who's scoring?
Mbeumo and Fernandes.
3-1 United.
3-1 United, who's scoring?
Mbeumo for sure. Bruno penalty. And let's say Bruno 2.
7-0.
7-0. What about you?
I think 3-1.
3-1, who's scoring?
Mbeumo, Ahmad and Maguire.
I'd ask you who's scoring, but your whole team, it sounds like.
2-1.
2-1, who's scoring?
Bruno and Cunha.
3-1. 3-1.
Who's scoring?
Cunha and Mbeumo and Casemiro. Cunha, Bruno, and another Bruno.
3-1.
Who's scoring?
Cunha 1 and Mbeumo 2. Maybe Harry Wilson will score 1 because he's good. He's
a very good player, isn't he?
He's in form now, but none compared to United.
Score prediction, I'm going to go for 3-1.
3-1, who's scoring?
3-1, Bruno, Mbeumo and Ahmad.
A lot of confident people outside Old Trafford.
Yeah.
Mordz, are you confident?
Like I said at the start of the show, yeah, I'm confident. I do understand the kind of game it's going to be, though. I know it's not. I hope it is a good game, and I hope it is an easy game for us. But I can understand that it might be a bit, back and forth. And Fulham are really going to try and take the game to us and make it difficult for us today compared to, I guess, City and Arsenal. But I do think we're going to get the win, and I'm confident, Carrick.
What's your score prediction?
3-0.
3-0. Yeah. Change that up a little bit, haven't you?
3-0. Like I said it to you off the show. I think the start of the majority of the game is going to be a bit iffy, but I think we'll finish strong, and I think maybe someone come off the bench will get a nice goal. But yeah, 3-0.
I think Old Trafford's going to be 12th man today.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be buzzing. Fan base are going to be feeling good. 2 big wins. I mean, the crowd are always amazing anyway, especially when we've been through what we've been through. But the players give us something, we'll give it them back, and it's just like that connection. It needs to be built strong, like Carrick said. And I'm going with a 2-0 United win. I'm hoping 3.
Yeah.
I'm hoping 3-0, but I'm going to be a bit more conservative with a 2-0, just because I know how these games can go sometimes for us. But
I think if the
I hope it's a battering. It'd be good if it was.
I think if the game opens up, we can get goals. And I think with Fulham, they're not going to come here and just want to settle, really. Like, they're going to think, if we go 1-0 up, Fulham are going to think, you know what, why not just go for it? If we lose, we lose. It's not the end of the world. Most people think they're going to lose anyway. So if we go 1-0 up and Fulham just let the game open and they give us opportunities, we can get more goals.
Carrick has been speaking about why Bryan Mbeumo is playing a striker. Okay. He said, I think he's got a good eye for goals, Bryan. He's got his movement really good. He's a combination player as well as a threat in behind. I think it was just a really good mix the first 2 games, and it's carried on a little bit today. So we have got options, and it's great to have options and the flexibility to even cross the front line for similar players to play. But actually it can look different as well in terms of how we want to attack. So yeah, Bryan has done fantastic. I think him and Bruno have a really good link up, but obviously the goals have had a big impact for us. So you score, you stay.
Yeah, and I think, look, those 4 players, Cunha, Mbeumo, Ahmad and Bruno, the positive thing about all 4 of them is they can actually all interchange positions anyway on the pitch. Like, if you see Cunha drift out onto the right-hand side, it's not the end of the world because we know what he can do. If Ahmad ends up, our furthest player forward and Bruno's on the right-hand side, and Mbeumo ends up on the left-hand side, it's all positives because they can all play in those positions and do a job for us. So I think the fact that they can all interchange very, very well, I guess let's say we had Sesko. You're not going to expect Sesko to be on the right wing. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's a striker and that's all he's going to be for us. But with those 4 players, they can all kind of work around. It's a little bit more fluid. So I think that's why Carrick likes that kind of those plays in those positions.
Yeah, fluidity.
Yeah.
Kev United has put in a brilliant super chat. International fans can't thank the local legends enough for leading the protest. They speak for all of us. Yeah, because obviously not everybody who wants to have their voices heard can be here. So brilliant super chat from Kev. Connor Boswell says, if you want to hit the pockets, delay the new stadium. We also have a lot of Q&A questions coming in for you and me, Mordz. So let's get into them. So, first one is, do you think we will make a panic signing before the end of the window if we lose?
No.
What is your opinion on the protests?
Well, I've actually mentioned it before, and I think obviously I've not seen it in real life because we're obviously here filming, but yeah, I think it definitely needs to happen, and I think we need to do more anyway in general. Like every single game, we should be chanting to get these guys out of the club. If you're not doing that already anyway, but we should be doing it every single game.
For me, the fans are the most important thing about this football club. There's a lot of important elements, but the fans are the most important.
Yeah.
And the fans deserve to have their voices heard, and I feel like they've been ignored for too long.
Yeah.
And you deserve to be able to speak up for something that you love, and that is this football club, and we want it to be better.
Yeah.
We want it to be run better. We want more investment into it. We want it to be run in the right way. We want it to stop being a cash cow.
Yeah.
We want to see progress on the pitch, but also behind the scenes. We don't want to see our club being taken the mick out of us by rival fans for how much it's been neglected, and we want to see change. And I think it's so important that everyone peacefully, puts across their opinion, and it's loud and clear. So yeah.
And also, just quickly on that as well, it's not really fair, I think, if players get a lot of criticism in real life and online from fans, but the owners can just sit back and kind of make bad decisions themselves and no one say anything. I think if it's okay for players and the manager to get loads of criticism from fans, from like I said, in real life at the stadium and online, then even more so the guys who are running the club, the guys who are making the bigger decisions, they should be the ones who the fan base are allowed to actually voice their opinions and be more vocal about. So yeah, I think it's only right.
Carrick has been asked about the protest, and he said, I don't think it connects with the 2 wins, to be honest. It doesn't affect the team. And he's right there, because it's not about the wins. Everyone's fully behind the team in Carrick. Yeah. He says, I fully respect the supporters. They're incredible, and they have been for so long. They've had a lot of highs and some downs as well, but I'm not offended by it, and the players certainly aren't. Within the stadium, the support we felt has been at the highest level, and I'm sure it'll continue to be. The connection that we've had over the last couple of weeks has been pretty special, and we've both fed off that. That's something we need to keep building on, and I think that's such a brilliant answer from Michael Carrick. Yeah. Keeping that fan base connected to the players and the team, because it's not about the results, it's about the way that we're being led off the pitch, I think, that people are frustrated with. Yeah. I mean, got more questions for you here, Mordz. Let me just get them back up. Okay, here we go. Hi, Beth. Do you think this is the best formation to attack this game, considering Sesko isn't playing? This is the team I would have played, yes. Is it the team you would have played, Mordz?
More or less, maybe like 1 or 2 plays might have changed. Maybe that Dalot might try, but it's not the end of the world. You know what I mean? So more or less, this is pretty much the team I would have picked.
And you know what as well? Like, we might be sat here after the game saying, "Oh, maybe Sesko should have started," but that's just football, isn't it? And I think this is what Carrick should have done today. The lineup that he's gone with. Do you think that it'll be an easy game for us, or do you think it'll be a scrappy game?
Well, like I said before, I think it will start off maybe a little bit more cagey, but I feel like it will open up as soon as the first goal goes in, and I think United will finish strong, like we have done the past couple of games.
Yeah. I'll go with that. I think it's going to be a jig. I'm going to be honest, guys. I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's a goal fest at Old Trafford and we're very comfortable. I would love to see us stick a few past Fulham at Old Trafford and have a really breezy day out, but I think Fulham will make it difficult for us. I do expect us to win though. Do you think Cunha should replace Dorgu even when he recovers?
What, in 10 weeks?
That's a bit of a mad question right now.
Look, we don't know. Let's see what happens in 10 weeks.
Whoever's playing the best should play.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. And it's different plays for different games, but whoever's performing the highest should play. And, it's all about competition for place. It's important to have a squad. Do you think Sesko should have started instead of Ahmad or Mbeumo, because we're going to be against a low block and Sesko's aerial presence could be good for crosses?
It's a good point, and we mentioned it before about player profiles. It's just the different kinds of players can do different things, and I think Mbeumo and Ahmad can do something different than what Sesko can do. So I completely understand what you're saying. Crossing the ball loads of times, eventually one of them's going to hit. One of them's going to hit Sesko. So that is something that maybe we can switch to. Maybe if what we're trying to do right now isn't working, we know that 50, 60 minutes into the game we can make that change and bring Sesko on and give him a good run around. But I think Ahmad and Mbeumo, just on a technical standpoint, you know, just in terms of like, you know, creating them little triangles, working the ball through Fulham. If we are going to be that kind of team that are going to play through a low block and actually make the ball work, then I think they're the better options.
Ahmad and Burmo, you can't take him out.
Yeah.
Like, you can't get the ball off Ahmad. He's a fantastic player. You spoke about earlier on the show, I think he's ridiculously underrated. He's quality, so you're not taking him out. He's so important for the overall team game. And Buemo's been scoring for fun, lethal finisher, top quality player. And Cunha's obviously had a massive impact off the bench over the last few games. That's your front three.
Yeah.
Sesko needs to have that same sort of impact to get himself into the team. And okay, yeah, horses for courses, you know, different plays for different games. And Sesko might come on and change the game. Let's hope he does. But I think the players that are starting deserve to start. But look, everyone, that is it.
Wow.
It's gone so fast, this Canada's kick-off.
Yeah.
And we need to get ourselves ready to go and experience Carrick's ball at Old Trafford. Hopefully, we are absolutely loving it. But, Mordz, what shall we infiltrate Goldbridge's chat with?
Cool. Who's in the team? Something to do with Cunha. Don't know.
Cunha ball.
Go on. Cunha ball.
Going with Cunha ball. Thank you everyone for watching. Smash a like on the video if you've not already. And the only thing left to say is come on United.
Come on United.